when the world held its breath, one finger hovering over the nuclear button, millions of ordinary people quietly prepared for the unthinkable. What would you pack if tomorrow turned radioactive? Back in the Cold War, civilians didn't just worry about groceries or bills. They built survival kits for nuclear doomsday. And some of the things they packed were so strange, so ingenious, they make today's preppers look tame. Welcome to the Forgotten Warfronts, where we crack open history's most chilling time capsules. Today, we're diving into the unbelievable world of Cold War civilian survival kits, the everyday armor for people who feared that one blinding flash in the sky. It's hard to overstate just how real the threat felt. The Cold War wasn't just a standoff between superpowers, it was a psychological siege. Families built bunkers in their backyards, schools ran duck and cover drills, and entire nations braced for a day that thankfully never came. But behind closed doors, a quiet movement was happening. Civilians, teachers, factory workers, parents were turning basements and closets into mini survival zones. Governments even encouraged it. In the United States and Britain, pamphlets showed people how to stock home fallout shelters. The message was simple but terrifying. Survival was your personal responsibility. And that's how the Cold War survival kit was born, a strange hybrid of practicality, paranoia, and pure human hope. Forget tactical vests or high-tech gear. These kits were a mix of the familiar and the downright bizarre. At the heart of every kit was one thing: food that could outlive you. Think canned meat, powdered milk, and dense survival biscuits that could last decades. They were designed not for taste but for calories and morale, because in a sealed shelter, a little sweetness could mean sanity. Then there were water purification tablets and jugs sealed tighter than state secrets. Some families even stashed tiny distillation kits to recycle condensation or, disturbingly, urine. Clean water wasn't optional, it was survival currency. But here's where it gets fascinating. Many kits included Geiger counters, simple radiation detectors meant to tell you when it was safe to go outside again. Owning one made you feel powerful, like you had a sliver of control against an invisible killer. Others packed dosimeters, iodine tablets to protect the thyroid from radiation, and even makeshift hazmat gear, rubber gloves, plastic sheets, duct tape. Yet among all the bleakness were touches of humanity. Families included board games, playing cards, and children's books to fight isolation. Some even wrote letters to their future selves, tucked away beside flashlights and canned peaches. Because deep down, people weren't just preparing to survive, they were preparing to live again. If history proves anything, it's that necessity breeds creativity, and Cold War civilians were masters of makeshift innovation. Survival guides taught people how to turn bathtubs into emergency water tanks. Old coffee tins became makeshift stoves. Some even rigged ventilation systems with hand-cranked fans made from bicycle parts to keep air circulating inside bunkers. Medical supplies were another story. First aid kits were stocked with everything from burn ointments to morphine tablets, remnants of wartime stockpiles. Sanitation was critical too. Buckets lined with plastic bags doubled as toilets. Lime powder helped neutralize odors. It wasn't glamorous, but it was brutally efficient. Communication was the next frontier. Shortwave radios became the lifeline of the underground world. People tuned in to emergency frequencies, listening for government updates, or sometimes, desperate voices from other survivors. The Cold War survivalist wasn't just isolated, they were part of a hidden, silent network connected by static and fear. This era also, birthed a unique subculture of DIY preppers. Without Amazon or survival stores, people really had to rely on ingenuity, repurposing, reusing, and inventing. It was a raw, human response to a modern nightmare. You might think these survival kits are just relics of an era long gone, but if you look around, climate anxiety, global instability, and disaster preparedness are right back in the spotlight. Sound familiar? The Cold War mindset of self-reliance and readiness feels, well, eerily relevant again. Modern preppers talk about bug-out bags and EMP-proof gear, but at their core, it's honestly the same impulse that drove families in the 1950s. Be ready when no one else is, and perhaps the biggest lesson from those old kits isn't what they contained. It's the psychology behind them. Preparation was a form of hope, a way to tell yourself that life could go on, even in the ruins. The Cold War survival kit wasn't just about radiation meters or tinned beans, it was about reclaiming control in a world gone mad, and maybe that's why these artifacts still fascinate us today. They remind us that even in the shadow of annihilation, people refused to give up. They planned, they adapted, they believed in tomorrow.